Presentations. Presentations are kind of like a special treat for kids because you can't have presenters come in that often because you usually have to hire them from a different city. They'd have to travel from somewhere like Calgary or Vancouver to your school, and you'd have to pay them quite a bit of money to put on a presentation. However, if your school can afford it and you can do it a couple times a year, this is a great way to teach kids so many different things. Some examples of presenters that could come into your school are Teaming Up for Tobacco-Free Kids. This is a campaign put on by the Alberta Health Services Group. They would come into your gym and set up posters and show students the real ingredients that are in tobacco. Students would have the chance to touch, feel, and smell the different ingredients that are put into tobacco products. This is a good presentation to teach kids about dangers of smoking and how they can make healthy choices. Another example is Evergreen Theatre. Evergreen Theatre is a musical theatre group that's been running since 1991. They come from Calgary, and their musical groups actually perform science-based musical theatre. When I was at my observation practicum at Avondale Elementary School, Evergreen Theatre came into the gym and did a presentation. So it was funny because I actually remember them coming when I was in that school in elementary and putting on a show when I was actually a student there. So it just goes to show how presentations like that, they really stick with kids and they'll remember them for a long time. Evergreen Theatre makes children aware of lots of different things to do with the earth, a lot to do with about how our human actions can affect our planet. It teaches kids to be eco-friendly. So like I said before, you won't be able to have presenters come in that often, but when they do, children can learn so much from it.
Chalkboard and whiteboard. This is a classic way to present a lesson. You can do notes, math problems, and many other lessons. They are 100% dependable and can be used last minute to present a lesson when technology fails. Some whiteboards are magnetic and can be used to hold up posters during presentations. For example, in one of my math classes, I always knew to do my homework because my teacher would always pick at least 5 students to come up to the board every class and write down their answers on the board. Having the students come up to the whiteboard gives the students a taste of what it's like to be a teacher. This can be fun and help them stay interactive with the class.
Then we have the overhead. The overhead is a good way to keep students focused on the task at hand. Most of the time when you use the overhead, you'll be shutting off the lights. By having the lights shut off, students can be less distracted by what might be happening around them and they can stay focused on the overhead projection. Using the overhead might be a good way for classroom control. It's a good way for students to see exactly what their teacher is doing. We thought that maybe the subject that might use the overhead the most is math class. In high school, teachers were always plugging in their calculators to the overhead so students could see exactly what the teacher was plugging in. And you could follow right along with your teacher if you were trying to do a math problem and they were doing it with them. Also in elementary, if you were doing simple addition, kids could see exactly what you're doing because you're working on the overhead. And also even just, you could use the overhead to help kids with something as simple as learning how to count money. If you cut out little fake coins, you could put them on the overhead, and using different coins, you could ask the students how much money is being represented on the overhead. It's a really simple way, but it's also kind of fun to make lessons a little bit more exciting. So the moral of the story is that there's so many different ways you can present a lesson to your class. So why present your lesson in the same way every time? Switch up the way that you do your teaching, and you'll keep your kids engaged and excited to come to your class. Another way to present a lesson is by playing games with your students. Games are really great for kids because it keeps class entertaining, and stop saying stop saying stop saying stop saying okay. Another way that you can integrate
Also, smartboards are an easy way for teachers to work collaboratively. For teachers to work collaboratively. For teachers to work collaboratively.
It's a big word. Sorry.
Should I introduce it?
Yes,
okay.
and we'll just wing it and see how it goes. One of the students would ask the other student math questions that involved addition and subtraction. No, that's wrong.
Multiplication and division.
One thing you can do with videos is to give the class a little test after the video, asking questions about what they learned. Learned or learnt? Learned. You guys probably remember Bill Nye the Science Guy from elementary. He taught us all about gravity, static electricity. What else did he teach us?
Planets. My nose looks funny.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. This is brutal, actually. I could never be an actress. A second example of an acronym can be used for the planets. My very excellent mother just showed us 9 planets. You didn't write down the planets. Okay, I'll see if I can remember it. Mercury, Venus... Is that right? Yeah. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
Anyway.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Is it Uranus? I can't even say it properly. What is it? Is it Uranus?
Yeah.
Uranus?
No, it's Uranus.
Uranus. It is Uranus. So that was right. Okay. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, which is now not a planet. You're laughing in the background! Music, songs, and acronyms are a fun way to incorporate learning in your lesson planning.
Incorporate learning in your lesson? I should hope there's learning in your lesson.
They're easy to use, so if you have a sub come in, you know that they are easy to use, so you know that if they are easy to use, so you know if you have a sub come in, the time won't be wasted with they are easy to use. This is great if you have a sub.
That was fine. That was fine. But when you can, kids can learn a lot from them, and it'll be a memorable. Yes, good. Presentations will often be a memorable. Why can't I say the word? Memorable. Yeah. Presentations will be a memorable experience for children.